Bohemian Rhapsody didn't begin as some grand plan. It started as fragments that Freddie Mercury had been carrying around, bits of piano ideas, opera-style passages, and lyrics that didn't really follow a clear story. He brought them into rehearsals like puzzle pieces with no picture on the box. The band quickly realized this wasn't a normal rock song. It had no chorus, no standard structure, and no obvious way to perform it live. And that was the problem. It didn't want to behave. The turmoil came from trying to actually build the thing. Recordings stretched across multiple studios in 1975 because they needed every available track they could get. At Rockfield Studios and other locations, the band layered vocals over and over, sometimes over 100 overdubs, bouncing tracks just to make room for more. And the operatic middle section wasn't written in full beforehand. It grew piece by piece, with Mercury directing like a conductor while the tape machine struggled to keep up. It was expensive, time-consuming, and completely against the usual get in, record, and get out mindset. The problem was the music industry's rulebook. 6-minute singles didn't get radio play. Songs without choruses didn't make hits. And this track had both of those problems, plus a section that sounded like a cartoon opera dropped into a rock record. Even the label pushed back on releasing it as a single. It looked like career suicide on paper. And the lyrics didn't help either. Lines about murder and judgment that felt dramatic but didn't clearly point to any real event. And to this day, the story behind the lyrics is widely considered fictional or symbolic rather than being tied to one specific true incident. But miraculously, everything came together when the band ignored the rules and pushed it out anyway. The key moment came from the promotional video, now seen as one of the first modern music videos, and it helped drive interest when radio stations hesitated. Because once that got airplay, the length really just stopped mattering. Listeners didn't treat it like a normal song, they treated it like an experience. And against all expectations, it went to number 1 in the UK and stayed there for 9 weeks. And then suddenly the thing that made it risky became the reason it stood out. The lasting impression from the song was the realization that a rock song didn't have to follow any blueprint. Bohemian Rhapsody proved you could splice genres together, ignore structure, and still connect with a massive audience. It's part opera, part ballad, part hard rock, and somehow it still feels very cohesive. It wasn't based on a single real story, but it created one of its own. The story of a band betting on something that shouldn't work and watching it become one of the most recognizable songs ever recorded.